It is time for Timor with their Heritage Field WWW 36.5 millimeters of Dirty Dozen reissued goodness. Let's check it out. Welcome back to this hobby of ours. I am your host, D, and I'm very excited to be presenting this watch to you today. This is indeed the Timor reissue Heritage Field model, basically a rework of their original Dirty Dozen watch that come out for WW2. And I have to say, I am epically impressed. I got to meet Ben, the new owner of Timor, who was responsible for bringing this to market back in, I believe, 2018. He acquired the brand, and his goal was to effectively make a modern version of that Dirty Dozen watch. He owned one, and he didn't want to take that watch hiking. Who can blame him? But he wanted a modern one, and he approached them, as I understand it. He was telling me some of the story, the background, and they said, yeah, we should totally do that. And then he come into ownership of the brand, then he went and did it. Had a very successful Kickstarter program that was more or less responsible for giving a jolt to this reissue. And I have to say, it is one of the most truest to form reissues of the gamut of people and manufacturers who are trying to jump on that train of, having a field watch that harkens back to that very, very specific MOD design language. And who better to do it than one of the producers of the original Dirty Dozen? So this watch is on loan from him. Thank you, Ben, for your partnership, for being willing to loan me watches, sir. It's a great amount of trust, and I'm so grateful for it. That weekend we got to meet and have our interview. It was a fabulous weekend for me. Got to meet so many wonderful watch people and had a ton of fun. And Ben even sent me one of his challenge coins. These usually only attend a watch when you buy it, but Hobby of Ours has one on deck. And he sent me a bunch of nice things in a box, and I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to slow roll it. Today's episode is expressly about this rejuvenation of it, and I've got it on my leather 18 millimeter strap. This is a single pass strap. These are regular lugs, the spring bars. They're not welded lugs, so you can put anything you want on it. But the strap that when you buy it, it comes on a NATO style strap, single pass that is fairly gorgeous. But for some reason I wanted to drop it on some leather and see what that looks like, and it looks amazing. He also sent me the Modern Field watch as well, which I'm going to save for another episode, maybe a Watch Wars downstream. He also sent me one of the Expedition cases, the protective outer housing, to go around either the Modern Field watch or this Heritage one. It will even fit the vintage Timor watches from back in the day, and so you can put it around there and take it out into the field for some extra protection. That's going to be a bit of fun. I'm going to save that part of the review for the Modern Field, but I really want to get on deck, on table with this one and share it with you. I'm utterly impressed. So without further delay, let us jump into Timor time. On deck, reporting for duty, is none other than the Timor Heritage Field Watch WWW. And from the Dirty Dozen old days, we know that stands for Wristwatch Waterproof. And here we have what is arguably the most, the most accurate re-edition of a Dirty Dozen watch that is out there right now. And we're going to go through the specs on this one in a second. Just want to appreciate certain key things for the moment. So when you get this from Timor Watch Company, what you get is you get one of their books, you get one of these challenge coins, which is super awesome, and Ben has given that to me. Thank you, sir. And of course, certificate there. It comes in a box. I don't have the actual box that it comes with because Ben sent in not only this watch, but also their Modern Field watch and the Timor cage, as I call it, or I should say the Expedition case. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to handle that watch in a separate episode because today I want to focus on all this Dirty Dozen goodness and the fact that when Ben took over the company and they set about making this watch, they set out to make this as the most accurate re-edition of the Dirty Dozen watch that they could. Not only accurate in terms of meeting the specs of their original release back in the day, but if you were to compare this to the other watches in the market, no, this is, no. And you know what? Let's look at some of those and we'll go through why those ones don't make the grade. You'll notice that we've got representatives all up and down the price spectrum, starting off with your AliExpress types of Baltony, which to be fair is a fine enough looking watch, but quality wise can't say, and that is on the very low end. Then heading up market a little bit with Veyer, I see them as glomming on to the Dirty Dozen aesthetic. Longines is, one of the ones that made a Dirty Dozen. I don't, even with this release, their 1938, I don't think they've really captured their vintage Dirty Dozen look too well as of yet, but have no fear, Longines will appear again, I imagine. And then Vertex, have a soft spot for Vertex, love those guys. Even in their M36 they just released, which is more sized appropriately, it's still got a lot of modernity. It's a lot of modern influences to it. Great watches, but when we get to price, it's 2.5x what Timor is charging, and that kind of drifts away from the utilitarian type of watch that would have been issued to the armed services, fine pieces. And then we have Bremont coming in at the very high end of things. And all right, the Dirty Dozen watches were issued to the MOD, British military. So it is fun that Bremont is in London. They got London on the dial. I don't know that I care for the topography, namely the 10, the 0 and the 10, and the slice, the 9 and 8. And that odd looking 4. Not for me personally, but yeah, I don't know about this. And then we have our Timor. And the Timor crushed it. They absolutely crushed their re-edition. And it's because Ben himself, when he approached Timor, the people who own the brand, saying, hey, can I get one made or whatnot? And they were like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And then the partnership was born from there. Now let's put some numbers up on the board and we can see what we're working with here. So 36.5 millimeters in diameter. We've got a very nice and polite 45.5 lug to lug. Very svelte height of 11 millimeters. Now we do have 18 millimeters here at the lugs. Thank goodness it's not a 19 millimeter UGG width. But also thankfully it's not the original frozen or welded lugs, so you can use a cadre of different straps. Maybe something from twostitchstraps.com would fit you rather nicely for this. So on this model, we do have a push down crown. We've got 50 meters of water resistance, so not really a diver or a swimmer, but if you get pushed into a pool, you'll probably be fine. This is indeed the Heritage Field WWW, covered that one. We got sapphire here on the glass. And 42 hours of power reserve is coming from that Sellita SW216 manual. This is the manual one. They also offer this in an automatic version. The auto has a different power reserve. That's the Sellita SW260, which I believe is at 38 hours. But for me on this model, I'm inclined to go manual and recommend manual because it's just freaking cool. And you get this this strap with it. Rather lovely NATO. I happen to have this on my personal because I wanted to, see it on some leather. Looks great on the leather, looks great on the canvas strap. Awesome. And that kind of like bead blasted finish. This thing's fairly epic. I'm just so impressed that they went so true to form with the original. I'm going to insert a loom shot here. Lighting up like a torch. Looking good. In fact, let's get this on the wrist and see how she's performing on my 6.5 inch wrist. Oh, bam. Look at her go. Long lead. Yeah, 36.5. Rocking with docking. Loving it. This is the one to get for the combination of looking for that true heritage. Like heritage isn't just in the name. Timor actually participated in the production of the original Dirty Dozen watches. So a combination of heritage reliable re-edition with the same specs, and frankly, an amazing price point. You can get manual or automatic. And there's going to be more fun to be had with this watch because, as I mentioned, I've got the modern field watch on hand and their case for it. And that case, that fits either the modern one, this one, or even the vintage Timor. And that is going to be an awful lot of fun. I'm saving some of that fun for the next episode and just wanted to kind of, start the discussion here. I'm so impressed at this price band, and I want to say thank you to Benjamin for entrusting me with these watches and be willing to partner with me. We met at the watch wind-up fair, the wind-up watch fair, I should say, and just a fabulous gentleman. Enjoyed interviewing him so very much, and so grateful to be partnered with him to do a review. I love this watch, and you can too. All right, let's kick it back to the studio. There you have Timor time with your boy D. Major shout out to Ben for lending these watches into me. I'm going to take great care of them and get to share them with the viewership. And so excited to do it. I mean, I think that part of the conversation is definitely what else is out there in the market on the lower end of Timor and on the more costlier end. And I think that Timor is certainly the most accurate representation of a reissue of what was done back then according to MOD specs versus what people are doing now. And there are some brands that are just 3 and 4x of this, and that's missing the mark. And on the lower end, you're not getting the quality, you're not getting a timepiece that you could actually rely upon in a field scenario. So my advice is, I own a couple of the original Dirty Dozens. They're oftentimes in the bank, and I'll bring them out and I'll wear them, but can't wear them hiking, right? Even if I rationalize it, it wouldn't be smart. That's like a 76, 7-year-old watch. Maybe not taking that on a hike, but I could take this one on the hike, and certainly with that Expedition case on it. And I'm very excited to share the next one with you, their modern field watch, which is amazing beauty in that beautiful DLC PVD coating, gorgeous piece. And Ben, that one might be staying with me. I might have to send you some money instead. I really rather love that one. And this one's looking fairly gorgeous too. But we'll get to that debate when it comes to the watch wars. And that episode is forthcoming. I haven't shot it yet, but it's definitely on deck to get put into the pipeline next. And lucky you, staying until the end of the video, because Ben from the Timor Watch Company has given me 5 discount codes to get you 10% off of your order. If you want the Heritage, if you'd like the Modern, review forthcoming. If you want the Expedition case, write to me in the comments of this video, and I will connect you with Ben, and we'll get you 10% off of your order. Not an official giveaway per se, so there is no phrase that pays. Just write to me and say you're interested in the Timor, and I will connect you directly with Ben. I am not participating financially. You'll write to me, I'll connect you with him, you'll give your money to him, and merry ye shall be, getting 10% off of your order ahead of the holiday season. Thank you so much for your partnership, Ben, for extending that discount to the viewership. Appreciate you so much for it. And thank you for coming along on the ride in this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to hobbyofhours.com. We've got artwork, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts, and even a watch book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. Over 1,000 designs in here. Steampunk, super futuristic, kaleidoscope, even super real ones. Watches that you could probably put on your wrist today. It's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for coming along on the ride.